so we're gonna get our Angus on today, and we're actually combining two separate licks that he plays in the What Do You Do For Your Money, Honey solo. That's easy to say. And we're kind of making one super Angus lick out of it. So we're gonna dive onto this one, and yo, get your SGs out and let's get it. Hey guys, and before we get too far into the video, if you don't know it, I actually have an entire Angus Young course, all based around his style. If you wanna check that out, we're running a 40% off sale. That's linked down below. It's the biggest way to support the channel, so if you would, check that out. And yo, let's get back to the video. Okay, so here's what we have going on. Now, this is all based out of box number 1, and like I said, we are combining two Angus licks. If you've got the course, you see this all the time in there. A lot of these concepts inside of Angus's playing are all in there. So we're gonna be on the 15th fret of the B, and think of this as being E minor, box number 1. I'm gonna highlight some of the really cool ideas that you can take away from this and put in your own playing. So you're gonna go 15th fret on the B, big old bend. Now, he kicks it off and he goes like this. Right away, this is a really cool, and if you're not used to this finger rolling concept, it's a really fun idea to get under your fingers. So I'm gonna go 12th fret on the high string to 15th fret, pull back off to 12. I'm gonna go to 15th fret on the B. Now I'm gonna start rolling my fingers here. 12th fret on the high string to 12th fret on the B. Now we're gonna go back to that 15 on the B. And one of the things that's tricky in a lick like this is we are using the same frets and the same notes so many times, but they're just a little bit different. So it makes it tough to get through that sometimes. Now here we are kind of rolling from one lick into the other. So once you get that 15th fret, we're gonna go to 14 on the G, but you're gonna add a little bit of a bend. And if you're like me, anytime these guys throw these bends in the middle of a lick and they just kind of keep rolling with it, it takes me a minute. I'm like, it's such a cool sound. Why don't I do that more? So now that 14th fret on the G is bent up a full step, and then you go to 12 on the B. Now here we're gonna add a little slidey thing. Go into that blues note. So 15th fret on the G, sliding down to 14 and pulling off the 12. So you've got. Now after you do that, pull out there, you're gonna go 14 on the D, then you're gonna go back to 14 on the G. So notice how I'm rolling my ring finger now. Part of the thing that I've always kind of had the suspicion of is Angus has really small hands, which probably led him to all of these rolling motions, because you can't, he couldn't do those huge stretches, but he can roll his finger across the strings, which is just such an essential part of his style. Now you're gonna go 14 on the G, and you're gonna roll back to 14 on the D. This is a super common Angus move. Now 12 on the G, hammer onto 14, pull off the 12. See what I mean by we're using a lot of the same frets, same notes, but he's playing them all a little bit differently, so sometimes it's like a tongue twister for our hand because you're playing the same stuff in a bunch of different ways. Now I threw in the little ending here. Technically he goes to the background, goes to the A chord, but I just love this little thing that Angus does. And slide all the way down, that's just attitude. That's Angus right there. So I'm jumping all the way up to 22nd fret, and then I'm kind of tremolo picking it. It's more like that stutter pick. It's not like an Eddie Van Halen kind of trim pick. It's just, and then he tremolo picks it, and he just kind of chromatically slides this down. There's no end in sight. It's just meant to sound like chaos. So. Just end it wherever you can make it more dramatic. So there you guys have it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you would, check out the Angus course. Put a lot of work into that one. That was one of my favorite ones to do because Angus is just one of my favorite players. There's so many things that we can take away from him. So links for all that stuff is all down. So if you want to snag it while it's on sale, links for that is all linked down below. If you would, hit the subscribe button. I'm bouncing out here. I'm going to end it Angus style, just like this.